Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jerry Hall. It's April 3rd, 2020, and here are my thoughts. Well, I'll tell you what, I like green. It's nice to see moving up, right? We've had a couple of days of incremental growth. Big fan. Let's hope it continues. All right, let's move right along here. So I thought this was a really interesting post. This is from You Today. It's a Twitter-based article, but it's talking about the XRP Liquidity Index, right? Now, as wonderful as it is to see the ODL corridors functioning well and growing in this weird economic climate, the point that a lot of people aren't talking about, and I believe it bears a discussion, and that is how it relates to price discovery. Here's my thought. As this market has been primarily speculative since its inception, you have a wide range of outcomes. 0 being the negative side of the outcomes and unlimited on the upside of the outcomes. What I believe the ODL product from Ripple and these established corridors that are gaining momentum do for us is add an element of consistency. And when I say that, I'm talking about strip out all the speculation and there is still a base. The base is the current daily flows. There is a minimum requirement. And with a minimum requirement, you get a bottom above 0. Now, where is that bottom? Based on today's volumes, I'm not sure. But some incredibly smart person will apply the right math and will be able to, with a tremendous degree of certainty, establish what the bottom is for this asset. Now, if we can establish the bottom and it's real, then being able to extrapolate the incremental increase based on volume increases will be just yet another math equation. I'm really looking forward to this, breaking out of this speculative paradigm and into a real math-based projection model. It's just exciting stuff. I hope that plants a seed into some brilliant person's mind, and the next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, those numbers will be published. Let's move on and keep it in the XRP Ripple family here. This tweet came out yesterday. Mr. Larson, full-blown recovery from the old health crisis situation. I'm a big fan of recovery. Nice to see that Chris has made a full recovery and is now donating his antibodies to help others. How cool is that? Good job, Chris. Thumbs up. This one here, oh man. Cryptopolis brings up a really great point. Now, on its surface, it's talking about GE Aviation laying off half of its manufacturing staff. Now, that doesn't bode well, obviously, for aviation moving forward. It doesn't bode well for any of those 50% of those people being laid off. But I think it brings up a really big subject and something that should be in the discussion, and that is this. When you have the largest corporations in the world laying off massive numbers as it pertains to employees, That's never good for the economy. Those employees take their paychecks, they buy food at the local grocery store, they buy products in their local area. All those purchases and the velocity of money in their local economies, whether it be city, county, or state, what have you, all put little increments into those municipalities in the form of tax receipts. That's how cities, counties, and states function. How many services get cut when a city can't pay its fire department? Food for thought. Think about that. That's just one side or one storyline that's going to come from this. There are others. Let's talk about the corporate element of it. Well, most likely, a lot of these big corporations are going to get huge sums from this corona relief package that was signed by the president several days ago. Now, in the big scheme of things, in the old line of thinking, the old trickle-down economics, would suggest that the money given to the corporations would be able to restore employment, and the money would trickle down through the big corporations into its employees and into the local, county, and state tax economies. Well, here's the truth. It has not proven out that way. The percentage of impact on a city, county, state level from bailouts have been pennies on the dollar. Another element of this is the fact that there are many of these extremely large US corporations that are up to their eyeballs in debt. And if their cash flows and revenues cannot service their debt, then you are going to have a tremendous issue in the debt markets. Now, a company like GE, which is up to its eyeballs in debt and is already at the lowest level of investment grade bond that you can be, is definitely a potential to get downgraded again if they cannot service their debt. Something to keep your eye on. Things could get much worse before they get much better. But I'm going to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Let's move on. Robert Reich, a former labor secretary for the Clinton administration, is talking about another relief package needs to be put together, and that each citizen is going to need $2,000 a month until this thing is over. Now, I'm a big fan of bailing out the little guy. And the reason being is because the little guy puts his money into the economy. The little guy pays rent, buys food, supports restaurants, supports stores and local businesses. And all those things support city, county, and state municipalities in the form of tax receipts. When you take that away, you weaken the economy of the nation, because we are a collective. And just as the cities, counties, and states are a part of the collective for the United States is part of a collective for the globe. It is all interconnected. Sometimes it feels like the powers that be really don't understand what's going on, and they're supposed to be the smartest guys in the room. I don't know. I think the jury's out on that. We'll see. Here's an interesting tweet I saw. This is a Walmart sign saying, hey folks, do not go in this area because everything in this area is non-essential. Now, that may be true for lawn chairs, blow up pools, but seeds, the ability to grow food, to me, that is just insane and shows me that the folks that make decisions, whether they be in large corporations like Walmart or in our government, may not be the smartest people in the room. We are in unprecedented territory, folks. We've never seen a supply and demand shock like we're experiencing now. What happens if supply chains crumble? Well, is the only option to live off of the overproduction of spam? I mean, come on. Anyway, food for thought, something to think about. I want to move into something that I believe is important. It's called financial literacy. My path for the last 2 years is about consuming information, trying to understand how things work. And as a direct result of understanding how economies work, both in a local sense, in a national sense, but also on a global stage, I've found incredible content. You've heard me talk about Real Vision a bunch of times. Well, this Hedgeeye comes from Keith McCullough, has a free YouTube channel, also has a paid subscription service, just like Real Vision. And Keith puts out some wonderful stuff. For those of you that want to continue your education, this is a wonderful source of information, one that I highly recommend. Now, for me, this really started when I started consuming financial literacy content and trying to understand how things work. This particular guy, Mike Maloney, who had done this series, Hidden Secrets of Money, was absolutely incredible for me. He does an 8-episode series where he starts at the very beginning, the history of money, and works his way all the way through to where we are today. For those of you that may not feel comfortable describing what you know, feel free to come here and direct people who are asking you to this. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece of content. Strongly encourage it. Some wonderful person has taken this entire 8-episode series and translated, overdubbed in Spanish. I have not found, but I can't believe that somebody hasn't done the same thing for Chinese. The point to this is we're not getting financial literacy in our public school system. At least it was not there when I was growing up, whether it be kindergarten, whether it be elementary school, junior high school, junior college. It is amazing to me how financially illiterate we are as a collective. Anyway, this stuff like this can help change that. I want to draw your attention next to onthechain.io. This is the website that all of the on the chain content is funneling through. You could see that these various platforms, whether it be the YouTube live channel where the live streams are done, the regular YouTube channel where I host my show one-on-one with Jerry Hall, our Coil page where we have special exclusive content for Coil only, branching into Cinnamon, and as well as taking content that we've created and making it available through these various podcast outlets. It's really wonderful to be a part of something where many people are coming together to funnel through one place, different voices. I really enjoy being a part of On the Chain and will continue to do so until I don't. Now, yesterday I brought up Dr. Mark Hyman. Here's another one. As we're looking at what's going on here, the wheel has already been invented, folks. There have been incredibly bright medical professionals telling us for many years how to protect ourselves against the things that nature and the world will send at us. Dr. Mercola is one of them. I will try to continue to include voices that I have found are providing real content that's beneficial, that's fact-based, that real actionable behavior and actionable paths and processes can be taken from. Food for thought. I hope you like that little play, food for thought. Think about food. It's important. It's the basis for how our internal systems do what they do. Would you go put shitty garbage gas in your car and expect it to run well? I wouldn't. Learn about food, learn about your body. Don't you want to be happy and healthy and vibrant when we hit the moon? When the XRP actually gets to Mars? I want to. Anyway, those are my thoughts from Costa Rica, folks. And until next time, Pura Vida.